Hi grades 3, so let's get started on your math lesson for Tuesday, April the 19th. And we are going to grab our workbooks. So go grab your math workbook and we're going to open to review 5. And remember on Monday, we finished this page. So Tuesday, we are working on this page, okay? So let's get started on page. So today we will work on question 4, 5, and 6, and we are looking at page 103. After you are done this, then remember you have to work on your math review, mental math 15. Okay, so just remember that after these 3 questions in our workbook, we are going to move to our mental math for Tuesday, which is mental math 15. Okay, so let's get started and let's look at our questions here. So, and I'm going to do our questions on this whiteboard that I have set up beside me. Okay, so as soon as we get started, I will move the camera away from me and it will be on the whiteboard. Okay, but just so you know, so I'm just transferring these questions to the whiteboard, just like we do in the classroom, where sometimes I do the questions on the board with you. Okay, so here we go. Question number 4, open up your workbook to page 103. Okay, and we're working on this page only. So let's get started, okay? Move the camera away from me and onto this whiteboard. Okay, so let's get started. And our first question is, I hope the camera is straight. Our first question is, Lily weighs 29 kg. Her father is 3 times as heavy as she. How much heavier is Lily's father than Lily? Okay, so let's look at it. And so we know that how many units are there? There are 3 units, right? This space is for Lily, and she weighs how much? She weighs 29 kg. So we know that this tiny portion of the bar is 29 kg, and this is her dad's, right? So we need to find out the bigger portion. So we know this is Lily and this is her father, would be the difference. So he weighs 3 times as heavy as Lily. So what do we need to do? We already know Lily's. So we need to find this difference. So we are going to take 29 and we are going to multiply it to 2 more. Okay, so let's go ahead. 29 times 18, right? So 2 units would be what? 2 times 9 gives me 18. So I write my 8 down. I carry my 1 over. 2 times 2 gives me 4. And I add the 1 that I brought over. It gives me 5. Right? So what would my question be? So Lily's dad or Lily's father weighs or is 58 kg heavier than Lily, right? So kg, there we go. Okay, so Lily's father is 58 kg heavier. Period. Okay, I hope you can see. That is our question 4. Okay. Also, grades 3, I would like you to set up the page like we do in the class with date at the top, review 5, and for each question, so this was question 4. There. Please show me your complete work. I would like you to do all of this. Okay, just like we do in the classroom. Do not give me just the answer. I need to see that you multiplied 29 to 2. You got 58 kg and you wrote your sentence. Okay, let's move on to question 5. Okay. So question 5 is John bought 2,500 tiles. He used 1,164 tiles for one room and 940 tiles for another room. How many tiles were left over? Okay, so how many tiles were left? So we know he bought how many altogether? So this is question 5. Again, I'm going to show my complete work. I'm going to write question 5. I'll write 5. Okay. Now, we know how many did he buy? He bought 2,500, right? And he used up how many? So he used up 1,164 in one room and 940 in another room, right? So let's go ahead, and we know that because he had this all together and he used up 1,164, right? And he used, so let's go, we need to subtract both of these numbers. So he used 1,164 in one room, 940 in another room. So let's go ahead and subtract this first, okay? So we can't do this because if you have nothing, you can't give me 4. If you have nothing, you cannot give me 6. We need to borrow out of this 5. We will be left with 4, right? I take it to my first 0, then I have to take it to my second 0, and I'll be left with 9 here and 10 here, right? So let's go ahead and let's subtract 10, take away 4 gives me 6. And 9 take away 6 gives me 3. 4 take away 1 gives me 3. And 2 take away 1 gives me 1. Okay, so far we know he used 1,336 were left. But then he also used 940 for another room. So we know that this is not our final answer. We have to subtract one more time. So we need to subtract 940. Okay, grades 3, as I'm doing the math, you can also pause the video and you can do the subtraction with me, right? Okay, so here we go. 6 take away 0 gives me 6. Now I have 3 here and you cannot give me 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow from here. I'm left with 2 here and I have 13 here. 13 take away 4 gives me 9. Now I have 2 left here, so I have to borrow from here. So I'll be left with 0 and I have 12 here, right? So 12 take away 9 gives me 3. So what am I left with? I am left with 396. So how many did he have left altogether? He had 396 left. There you go. Okay. Grades 3, I'm really hoping that you can see well and that the screen is not crooked. Okay, so that is question 5. Now let's move to question 6, our last question for today. And again, grades 3, I would encourage you, when I tell you you need to subtract or something, I would encourage you to pause the video, do the subtraction or addition or multiplying or dividing. Then you can unpause to check your answer. And you also have your answer keys with you, so you can always go on to those and check if you got your answer correct. Okay, let's go ahead and move to question 6. Now question 6 says a factory has 2,000 workers. 1,340 of them are men. The rest are women. How many more men than women are there? So basically we need to find the difference. And how do we find the difference? Do we subtract or do we add? We always subtract when we have to find the difference, right? So let's see. We know that all together there are 2,000 people, so men and women. We know that there are 1,340 of them are men. So let's go ahead and let's subtract this. Oops, my line is not straight. Okay, so we should be left with, let's go ahead, 0, take away 0, leaves me with 0. 0, take away 4, I can't do that, so I have to borrow right from here. I'm left with 1 here, and then I borrow again. So I have 9 here and 10 here. Now, 10 take away 4, what does it give me? It gives me 6. And 9 take away 3 also gives me 6, right? Okay, so I have 660, but that is not the number of, that is not the answer we are looking for, right? So now we found out how many women were there. So there were 2,000 people, 1,340 were men, 660 were women. What they want to know is, what is the difference between these two numbers? What is the difference between men and women? So let's find out. So what do I need to do? I need to go back to the men's number again, which is 1,400, so 1,340, and I'm going to subtract the women's number, right? So 660 of them are women. Now, grades 3, I would encourage you to pause the video, subtract this on your own, and then unpause the video to see if you got the answer correct. Okay, so let's go ahead. 0, take away 0 gives me 0. If you have 4, you cannot give me 6. So I'm going to borrow from this 3. This becomes a 2. This becomes a 14. So 14 take away 6 leaves me with 8. If you have 2, you cannot give me 6. So I'm going to combine it. And this leaves me with 0 here. This becomes a 12. So 12 take away 6 leaves me with 6. So what is the number? What is the difference between men and women? 680. Okay, so there are 680 more men. Okay, so now I am done my question. Okay, so grades 3, that was our lesson, math lesson for Tuesday, April the 19th. And I hope that you were working along on this page. And after you're done these questions with me, please move on to your mental math 15. And tomorrow I will see you for the next page.